Picture this. I'm standing in a clearing where my cabin used to be just a pile of splintered wood and churned up dirt, now the kind of scene that makes your stomach drop like you missed a step going down the stairs. My little hideaway, a rickety A-frame my grandpa built with his own hands, is gone bulldozed flat by the Pine Hollow Homeowners Association because I wouldn't let them turn it into their personal party pad. And the kicker. They had no idea I'm the governor of this state, the kind of guy who can make their little power trip blow up in their faces. Let me take you back to how this all started. My name's Tom Hargrove, and that cabin out in Willow Creek was my escape hatch from the chaos of running a state budgets, press conferences, endless handshakes with folks who want something. It wasn't much, just a creaky old place with a stone fireplace that smoked when the wind turned shelves stuffed with musty paperbacks, and a porch swing where I'd sit with a beer listening to the pines whisper. My dad left it to me and his dad to him, 3 generations of Hargroves finding peace in those warped cedar walls. I bought the land it sat on years ago under my own name, no governor title, no security detail. Just Tom, a guy in a flannel shirt who wanted to keep things quiet. The cabin was just outside Pine Hollow's fancy gated community, or so the county maps swore up and down. That's where the trouble began. Pine Hollow's HOA was run by Karen Whitmore, a woman who looked like she'd been born clutching a rulebook. Mid-50s, platinum hair sprayed stiff as a helmet, always in these loud blazer skirt combos that screamed, "I host charity luncheons but hate the poor." She drove a spotless black SUV, the kind that's never seen a dirt road, and carried a clipboard like it was the Constitution. I met her at this mandatory meeting for nearby property owners, funny since I'd owned my land before their McMansions were even a sketch. Karen gave me this limp handshake, her eyes scanning me like I was a weed in her pristine lawn. "Mr. Hargrove," she said, voice all, "fake honey, we're thrilled to welcome you to Pine Hollow's sphere of influence." I just nodded, playing the part of the quiet neighbor, but I could tell she was sizing me up. At first it was small stuff. Karen rolled up one day while I was fixing a leaky gutter, her SUV crunching the gravel like she owned it. "Tom," she chirped, "we're thinking your cute little cabin could be perfect for a Pine Hollow welcome sign right by the new hiking trail we're planning. It'd really tie the community together." I wasn't thrilled, but I figured a sign wasn't the end of the world. "Yes. Show me the plans, Karen," I said, keeping it cool, "and let's make sure it doesn't scream public property to every hiker passing by." She flashed this smile, all teeth, no warmth, and promised to follow up. Naive me thought that'd be the end of it. 2 weeks later, I got a packet in the mail, not a sign sketch, but a full-on proposal to turn my cabin into the Pine Hollow Guest Lodge. There was a freaking diagram, an arrow pointing to my front door labeled Community Hospitality Hub. Attached was a note in Karen's loopy handwriting. "Dear Tom, your charming cabin is just begging to be shared with our vetted guests. Think visiting families, prospective buyers, maybe a board retreat or two. It's empty most of the time, right? Let's make it a win for everyone." I stared at it, my coffee going cold, feeling like I'd been sucker punched. They wanted my private retreat, my family's legacy, to be their Airbnb with me playing maid. The nerve was unreal. I fired back a letter, polite but firm. "Karen, my cabin's private, used by me and my family, not up for grabs." Hope that's clear. Sent it certified mail, thinking I'd drawn a line. Her reply came a week later, dripping with condescension. "Oh, Tom, it's not public. Use just select HOA guests. It's such a shame to let a gym like that sit idle. We could even toss you a few bucks for cleaning between stays. Teamwork makes the dream work." Teamwork. It was extortion dressed up as neighborly vibes. I could feel the screws tightening. Things got petty fast. Violation notices started piling up under my mailbox. Wildflowers on my land were suddenly invasive species. My gray cedar siding wasn't a community-approved shade. Even my kid's handmade birdhouse got slapped as an unauthorized structure. Each one was a jab meant to wear me down. I'd respond with photos, survey maps, county laws, proving my land wasn't theirs to boss around, but it was like shouting into a void. Then came the email that made me choke on my toast, a spreadsheet titled Pine Hollow Guest Schedule Hargrove Cabin. It listed dates, guest counts, couples, families of 4, and a column called Host Duties. Daily cleaning, stocked fridge with artisan snacks, and get this optional home-cooked dinners twice a week. Local flavors, preferred reimbursement up to $10 a head. They'd cast me as their unpaid butler without even asking. By now, I was livid but still playing nice. I heard from my neighbor, Old Man Pete, a nervous guy who'd whisper over the fence like he was spilling state secrets. He said Karen trashed me at an HOA meeting, called me a selfish loner hoarding a wasted asset that could elevate property values. Pete mumbled something about property rights, but Karen shut him down, claiming anyone near Pine Hollow owed them community loyalty. That's when I knew this wasn't just about my cabin, it was Karen's crusade to control everything in her sightline. The final straw was a letter on fancy HOA stationery, complete with a cheesy logo of a grinning deer. It declared my cabin non-compliant with their vague standards and threatened site remediation if I didn't let them manage it. Remediation. The word felt like a blade. I sent back a legal warning citing my property lines, trespass laws, the works, and hand-delivered a copy to their office, making sure Karen's lackey signed for it. I thought surely they'd back off. I was wrong. A few days before their deadline, I drove up to check on things, a bad feeling gnawing at me. The road to Willow Creek usually calms me, the city fading into forest, but that day, my gut was in knots. I parked behind the hemlocks, walked the path, and then nothing. Where my cabin should have been was a scar in the earth-raw dirt crisscrossed with bulldozer tracks. Shattered glass, a crushed fishing rod, my daughter's faded drawing half buried in the mud, it was all gone. The chimney, that smoky old thing, was just rubble. I stood there, chest tight, like the air had been sucked out of the world. Grief hit first sharp and heavy, then rage cold and clear. They'd done it. They'd actually bulldozed my home. I called Karen Hands, shaking voice low. "Karen, it's Tom. I'm standing where my cabin used to be. Care to explain?" She didn't miss a beat. Smug as ever. "Oh, Tom, it was time. That shack was an eyesore dragging us all down. We followed protocol, consider it a favor. We're planning a nice gazebo now." "A favor." I gripped the phone, knuckles white. "You destroyed private property, Karen. That's a crime." She laughed, and said, "Don't be dramatic. It's an upgrade." That's when I snapped. "You've made a mistake," I said, voice like ice. "A big one. You'll see." I hung up. That night, I called my chief of staff, Ellen, not as Tom the cabin guy, but as Governor Tom Hargrove. "Ellen, I need a full investigation into Pine Hollow HOA, corporate filings, finances, permits, everything tied to my land. Get the sheriff, the DA, and the meanest land use lawyer we've got. This is criminal destruction, maybe fraud, maybe worse. Move fast, but keep my name out of it for now. Let them think I'm just some nobody." Ellen paused, then said, "This personal, Governor," I answered. "It's about justice now." The hammer came down hard. Sheriff's deputies showed up at Karen's doorstep, her pink tracksuit no match for their stone-cold questions. She waved HOA papers, claiming she had authority, but they weren't buying it. The DA subpoenaed every scrap of Pine Hollow's records, minutes, bank statements, emails about my cabin. State auditors found a slush fund Karen controlled, paying for her designer bags, her SUVs, wax jobs, even consulting fees to her mousy husband, Greg, a county clerk who probably fed her intel. The bulldozer guy, Joey Malone, spilled everything when his license was threatened. Karen's signed order, no permits, her scribbled note to get it done fast. It was a house of cards, and it was collapsing. Residents started talking too. Mrs. Larson, a widow, shared how Karen fined her for unapproved tulips. A young couple got hit for their kid's noisy tantrums. Turns out he's autistic. A fired board member, Stan, brought a ledger showing years of Karen's shady math. At a packed town hall, the prosecutor, Clara Boone, laid it all bare: illegal demolition, forged documents, embezzlement. Karen squirmed, shouting, "This is a witch hunt," until Clara shut her down. "Save it for court, Mrs. Whitmore." Then I stood, walked to the front, every eye on me. Clara's voice boomed. "The man whose home you destroyed, the one you called insignificant, is Governor Tom Hargrove." The room went dead silent. Karen's face drained to ash, her mouth flapping like a fish. I took the mic, looked her dead in the eye. "This cabin was my family's heart, a place of peace you stole for your ego. You betrayed these people, their trust, their money. You're done." Karen and Greg were cuffed on the spot, charged with felonies. Pine Hollow's HOA was gutted, rebuilt with new rules, new leaders. I sued, got every penny to rebuild my cabin, same beams, same smoky fireplace. The scandal sparked a state law, the Homeowner Protection Act, to keep HOAs in check. My cabin's back, and I let kids' groups use the land, sometimes my way on my terms, not Karen's. Looking back, it's wild how one woman's power trip cost her everything. But here's the thing. Was I too harsh, unleashing the state's full weight on her? Could I have stopped at a lawsuit? Drop a comment. What would you have done? Ever dealt with an HOA gone rogue? Let's hear it.